Hello, and welcome back to Patrick Replies, the show where I, Patrick, reply to your comments and questions about the latest video. Today, we are talking about the AI filmmaking video that, someone brought this up on Twitter, wondering, what is the real title? Because there is sort of a title on the thumbnail, and then there's a title in, like, the title part on YouTube. And, the thing is, I'm going to admit, the titles for these videos are often in flux, because a thing with YouTube is you can change the title at any point, and often one of the strategies that we YouTube people will use, if a video is like underperforming, we'll change the title and thumbnail after it's been released. Like I did that with the Taylor Swift video, and it did turn things around. The video started doing better. But anyway, I usually just think of these videos as like, oh, this video, like the Taylor Swift video or the Bollywood episode. I think of this as just the AI filmmaking episode. And so yeah, so call it whatever you want. But anyway, this was obviously more topical and a little bit different than the videos usually are, and you know, the next 2 or 3 or so are gonna be kind of along those lines. We're doing kind of, you know, a loose, semi-connected, unofficial series. But anyway, we wanted to start it off talking about these AI things, and the reception was mostly quite positive, but some people didn't like this video and disagreed with it, and I think we're gonna see some comments like that as we go. So let's dive right on in. As usual, we'll start with the YouTube comments that Emma Logsdon, our community manager, has pulled. Let's see what she selected. Excited to find out. Cool, I think we're starting in a really fun place. Good Boyd says, old man yells at cloud. Sheesh, what an ignorant take by a Luddite. And one person liked that comment. Look, Good Boyd here is probably not a subscriber, probably not watching this video right now. We're obviously probably gonna see more comments like this, but I'm just like, what is this person's stance? Are they like, do they think that like AI filmmaking is good? Do they want to see more of this? Are they like, yeah, let's get rid of filmmakers and artists and replace them with computers? I don't know. What a weird take. Anyway, I'm a Luddite, and not to make a sweeping generalization, but I'm going to. But Luddite is one of those words where, like, I feel like usually if someone uses it, especially if they capitalize it like they do here, it's probably a person I don't want to be friends with. But anyway, it's unlikely I will become friends, IRL, with Good Boyd. So yeah, I guess I'm entering my grumpy boomer era where I complain about how things today are worse than they used to be. And to be fair, I mean, they are. They are, you know, in so many ways worse than they used to be. I feel like even kids can recognize that. At least when it comes to, like, I don't know, movies and stuff like that. Like, yeah, things used to be better. Anyway, what do we have next? Ooh, cool. We're getting to fun comments first. Andreas Munk says, all you artists and allies seem incapable of extrapolating future capability of these technologies. Okay, first of all, allies? Usually you hear ally referred to like LGBTQ allies as like a good thing. Is this like allies as in like allies of artists? Like, all you artists and allies immediately indicates this person seems like an asshole. All you artists. In the future, it will be completely impossible to decipher when something is AI generated, and this has already been proven as OpenAI is slowly rolling back some of their AI detection services because there is clear evidence that there is no way to watermark for authenticity. Yeah, that's bad. Why are you saying this like it's good? I cannot in any way verify how much of this video you produced yourself and how much AI tools have helped you. Overall, an extremely long video full of cope and nonsensical arguments related to AI, and mostly just an attack on a mediocre content creator who tries to use AI to obfuscate his lack of talent. The future artists are those who leverage these technologies to create, or maybe the entire realm of digital art is dead, as the only real storytelling will be in the form of theater or performance in person, as everything online turns to AI-generated goop. Andreas here does not seem like a person that I ever want to hang out with. This is just a real bummer of a comment. First of all, there's certain expressions that I usually find, like, if people are using these, especially like online, these are kind of red flags for me. And full of cope, especially in this context, doesn't seem like a good hang. But also, when you say we're incapable of extrapolating future capability of these technologies, no, I think the problem is we're very capable of imagining it, which is why, like, the writers and actors currently on strike, AI is like part of like the agreement they're looking for to prevent a reality where they like eliminate human performances and human writing, because that will become possible and it will be bad. So no, we don't want that. And look, I talk about in the video how like there are like AI related tools like in Photoshop or Adobe After Effects and stuff like that like I use and that I do think are useful and actually like benefit creativity. But if you're really just jumping ahead to being like, whatever, AI generated movies with no human writers or actors will be fine and will just replace everything and will be just as good as stuff made by humans. Like, that's a deeply cynical outlook, but also just sounds like an awful reality. And I don't get why you've basically just like accepted that that's going to happen and you seem pretty much fine with it. But anyway, look, the Patrick Replies videos are my opportunity to respond. And my response is that Andreas seems like kind of a miserable dude. So sorry to you. Moving on. Snotenberg7 says, so hearing the idea that, quote, trailers aren't art because they're marketing set me off because all the best, most memorable ads have had an artistic charisma to them, like there are a ton of projects that have more artistic intent put into their marketing than the actual end product. Okay, I feel like you are misquoting me here because what I say in the video is you could say that this isn't real art because it's a trailer. I'm not saying that's what I believe. I'm just saying that is like an opinion that is out there that people could and will and have voiced before. But like, of course, when it comes to pieces of marketing, there are those that, are like pieces of art, especially when it comes to like, extended short films or like original commercials, or especially ones where they give a lot of leeway to like filmmakers and stuff like that, when it's like barely related to the product or company or whatever, like, yeah, sure, that's art. But movie trailers are a trickier thing because they are entirely based around and built off of existing footage from a thing made by other people. And so there is the question of like, okay, is this a piece of art when you've already taken the material made by someone else for a different purpose and basically just like repurposed into something designed to sell that thing? I don't know. I think that is a huge topic for other people to discuss and deal with. Like, are movie trailers art? They absolutely contain artistry and artistic elements, which is what I say in the video. But yeah, that's a very big topic, and I just want to say, I think you're misquoting me here because I'm not saying that is my opinion. I'm just saying that is an opinion. Okay. All right. Ooh, man, we are really getting all of the cool comments right up front. Dragon Skunk Studio 7582 says, I stopped following this guy since his plot hole discussion pissed me off. So I see stuff like this pretty often. Comments or tweets or whatever, basically saying like, I, don't like Patrick, or I don't take anything he says seriously because of his plot hole video. And that's fine. I don't really care. In general, the people saying that are people that I don't really want in my audience anyway. But here's what I think is silly about it. So the video that I made, Shut Up About Plot Holes, came out a full 5 years ago, 2018. That is, especially like in YouTube time, like such a long time. Also, that video is admittedly like pretty confrontational and aggressive in a way that I absolutely wouldn't do it now. But I was a younger man at the time, and I was like, let's piss people off and start fights. And so, I get why that video rubbed some people the wrong way. What I think is silly is just seeing one thing a person made once, and then for 5 years after that, be like, I'm never gonna look at anything this person does ever again. They are dead to me. I mean, if a person was racist or something, or did something genuinely cancelable, then sure, do it there. But if you disagree with one person's opinion one time and are done with them forever, they're dead to me. We'll never trust them again. I just think that's silly and short-sighted, and grow up, people. I have not watched the plot hole video since 2018. I've barely thought about it since then, but it seems to still bother some people so much, and I just think that's dumb. Also, why is this person commenting on this video when they said that they stopped following me 5 years ago? They took the time to click on this video, presumably knowing it was by me, and then the time to post the comment. People are weird. Okay. Marlon May says, please do the world a favor and do a detailed analysis of this video in 5 years, so see your hits and misses. No, thank you. I don't think I will. 2 reasons. First of all, I am not super optimistic, and I'm sure that things regarding AI in filmmaking and creative work will have gotten worse in 5 years. And so looking back at this will probably be depressing, and I'll be like, oh God, I was so naive. I had no idea how bad it could get. And also, I don't know if I'm gonna be making videos on YouTube in 5 years. So yeah, no thanks. Okay, BL3343. People keep talking so much crap about The Gray Man that it almost makes me want to see it. When I kept hearing that Plan 9 from Outer Space was the worst movie ever made. I understand this perspective. I would encourage you not to watch The Gray Man, because the thing is, it's not the worst movie ever. With Plan 9 from Outer Space, people talked that up so much because it's bad in interesting ways. The thing about The Gray Man, the reason people are so annoyed at it, is that it had so much talent and so many resources. It's a thing where the Russos post Avengers Endgame could do anything they wanted. They got massive budgets, this great cast of movie stars, total creative control from Netflix, and then we're all this is what you made? This was your big thing? This is all you have to offer us? There is no vision there. There is nothing interesting there. It is far from the worst movie ever made. It is just a case of a real waste of resources and talent and potential. So that's it. Don't bother watching The Gray Man. Vari Timo says, fuck, now I want to see Tony Scott's The Avengers. Yeah, I do too. So does Emma, adding in her little comment here. I mean, one thing about Tony Scott's The Avengers, it would look good. It would be a cool looking movie. Yeah. Oh man, I miss Tony Scott. Okay, Armac says, clearly this is AI, because no human being would say Wes Anderson like Patrick does. And we got more comments that are just people saying Wes. Yeah, so, here's the thing. I pronounced the name Wes as Wes without even thinking about it since, I don't know, for my whole life. I've always said Wes Anderson. And this is a thing where I'm I don't know, is it a regional thing? I feel like my sister says it the same way. I don't know. I have never thought about it before. No one has ever said anything to me about it before, ever. But don't you love it when you just do a thing your whole life and just speak one way your whole life and no one ever says anything to you about it and it's just totally normal, and then you say one thing on the internet and then suddenly tons of people freak out and are like, what's wrong with you? Why are you talking like that? Anyway, yeah, the internet, a really fun place. I don't know, man. I guess I usually the name Wesley, I tend to say Wesley. I don't know. I can't explain it. Look, and now I'm just gonna keep doing it just to piss you people off. Sorry, Wes. Magusaka Janus. Patrick's got amazing drip when he comes out of that elevator. Thank you. That hat I'm wearing? I got it in Rome. Earlier in the day before the Mission Impossible premiere. It's a good hat. Okay, Max Ducoudre says, I'm sympathetic and I agree AI, really these machine learning models, isn't up to making movies. But I think it's dangerous to think this is axiomatic. AI will get to a point where it can produce good art of any kind you can imagine. The proper discussion to be having is how to take care of humans as their skills become eclipsed. Because if we wait until the AI is that good, it will probably be too late. I mean, yes, I think you're right, which is why, as I mentioned earlier, the writers and actors who are currently on strike, one of the demands that they want to have, like, in their contracts is how, like, AI stuff will be treated. Because while, like, as I said in the video, I don't think AI will ever be capable of producing, like actual good art, because it's, like, not a human. It will become capable of producing mediocre art that you basically, people would think that a human made. So yeah, that's why currently the Writers and Actors Guilds are trying to get an agreement made so that studios can't get AI to generate like a shitty rough draft of a script and then hire a human for like a lower rate to then edit it and rewrite it. This is the problem. The whole AI thing escalated way faster than anyone was expecting, and so yeah, we have to deal with that now because the studio executives in a lot of cases probably see no problem with just having an AI pump out some mediocre script or do a performance. And look, I'm sure if they could just auto-generate like a bunch of movies for cheaper without having to deal with human beings or contracts and stuff like that, I'm sure they would. So yes, it feels weird to have to be saying this in videos, but like, yeah, let's protect and take care of the human beings. Philip Manser says, thank you for making this. I watched this on Nebula, but I just had to come here and say this, even though I know you don't read the comments, but I'm reading this one. I'm so tired of hearing so many friends say how amazing and creative AI is, and I seem to be the only one going puke emoji. Yeah, I will say, like, having now learned how to use Midjourney for the purposes of this video, I do understand the appeal of going into it, typing in some crazy thing, and then it spits out an image, and it's like, oh wow, there it is. But like, again, it's not real art, and past the initial like novelty of it, I don't see it being exciting at all. So anyway, just want to say, Philip, thank you for watching on Nebula. Hope you enjoyed the bonus video. Catalysis says, man, Patrick's videos this season are a step function better than ever. Thank you. We're always trying to make them better, which is, probably why they take longer than ever to make. But yeah, I think the videos this season are pretty good. We also have more Emma, which, I think makes all the videos better. Brian Schultzitis says, I really appreciate your take on this. I've honestly been about as impressed with the AI-generated videos as I have with someone doing a bad Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonation at a party, but my opinion of it is much lower because that person doing a bad impersonation isn't trying to make money or get famous, they're just trying to be funny. They're also not really stealing anything. It's fun to play around with, though I really only use Adobe Firefly because at least they've only trained their model on things they had the rights to, and what can be done with AI is impressive to be sure, but there's a lot missing too, and it is really limited. Yeah, I do appreciate, as you said, that Adobe Firefly is set up to only use like stuff from Adobe stock images, and so it's not like Midjourney is plagiarizing the work of artists who never agreed to that or signed off on it. And yeah, like I said in the video, that it is this weird kind of slippery slope gray area thing because there are tools, especially in programs like Photoshop and After Effects and stuff like that, that are using AI related stuff, including like generative AI, that can be useful. Like, I'm going to admit some of the stuff in the new Photoshop beta, where you can like extend an image, and it will like study the image and then like create an expansion of it. It is kind of useful sometimes when you have to like extend a background for something, or for instance like paint something out of a shot. Like, that's pretty useful. But then it's such a small jump from that over to the less cool stuff that, man, this is all so weird. What a weird time we're living in. BenzNeb360 says, I love how Patrick snuck a Wes Anderson retrospective into a video about AI. That's so Patrick H. Willems. So Patrick H. Willems. Yeah, look, this is one of those things where like I haven't really done videos on Wes Anderson, and I'm obviously a fan, and so this was like a fun opportunity for that. And also I just thought it was like really relevant, because it's like, if I'm gonna talk about why those AI videos suck, I have to talk about like why the actual guy is good. And so yeah, it was fun. That was honestly one of the more fun parts of the video. Just getting to talk about good movies instead of bad videos. I liked that. Okay, the Emma thumbs up shot after the shitty joke is one of the best montage decisions in the history of filmmaking. AI could never. Yeah, I agree. I will say it was funny editing that. So I've got the line about Shartificial into my pants, which Jake Torpy wrote, and it's a joke that he's very proud of. But when I was editing that part, I wasn't sure the scene was really coming together. It felt a little bit off. And then I noticed that in one of the takes, Emma did a thumbs up. Not every take, just one take. And I was like, that's it. That was the final little ingredient to put a button on it and sold the whole thing. And yeah, editing. It's a magical thing. AI would not have decided to give that thumbs up, and AI would not have used that one clip from one take to put in there. So hey, humans, we're okay sometimes. Patman Forever says, Patrick explains Serenity? Intriguing. So yes, as some people noticed, in the last scene of the episode, Dave the Agent is explaining the plot of the 2019 movie Serenity, starring Matthew McConaughey as a man named Baker Dill trying to catch a fish named Justice. And that would not be a Patrick Explains video, because I don't think Serenity is great. I do think Serenity is very interesting. Moving on. Okay, long comment. Austin Riddle says, informative and entertaining video, Patrick. I can only give my perspective from a music industry bias, as I'm not in your area or expertise of cinema, but I'm still on the AI as positive train. As a musician in a variety of spaces in the industry and an avid listener to anything old or new, I feel like the recipe for musical success has been long and largely solved. I can bitterly predict what I'm going to be asked to play and record before even seeing the song based on their overall goals in the music industry. The amount of sameness in the industry is almost hilarious, have to laugh to not cry. And I honestly think the listening intelligence of the general population is so low that I'm happy to have AI now fill their needs. It may be too hopeful, but in the event that the current state of music is so easy to produce for AI, I believe we could see a shift in human artists that are only relevant because they offer a new or unique sound that can't or hasn't been machine learned. Eventually, it would be due to how popular it became. To me, this is the creativity that industry needs desperately, and I'm more than happy for the infrastructure in its current state to come crashing down to accommodate some life into it. My view on the worst-case scenario with AI music is that popular music essentially stays the same, it's just people aren't writing it anymore. Best-case scenario is a great filtering out of talent we already have or have heard. This is an interesting perspective, and look, I'm not a musician, I don't work in the music industry, so you would know better than I would. But it does kind of remind me of that take that went around in 2016 that what was the name of this? I can't remember. But basically some people on the left, like some like very, very hardcore leftists, were like, we should actually vote for Donald Trump. Or like hope that he becomes president, because he will make things so much worse in the country that then people will respond and like be forced to get more progressive, and then things will swing back in the other direction. So things have to get way worse before they will turn around and get good. And I am very skeptical of that perspective, mostly because I'm not so optimistic as to believe that really terrible circumstances will like motivate everybody to actually like change things and make things good. I feel like if things become really terrible, people will just kind of become numb to it, and too many people will accept, well, this is how things are now. And so with music, the idea that like, oh, AI creating all popular music and making it really bad and boring will make people like more interested in finding like the few remaining human perspectives doing something interesting. I feel like that's just going to make, as you said, the listening intelligence of the general population even lower and worse. The thing that I wonder about with this, not just with music, but with anything, is I'm just like, will people ever become like fans of like AIs? Will people ever be like, oh man, I love the videos that this AI makes, or the music that this AI makes? It's not, because it's not like there will be like specific AIs that will have perspectives, because that's not how these things work. And so much of when it comes to like music or film or anything, part of why movie stars have always mattered. Well, they currently don't the way they used to, but like hopefully one day movie stars will matter again. Is it's like we are drawn to humans and their perspectives, and we like things about them. And when it comes to artists, it's like we resonate with their like view of the world, whether it's an aesthetic thing or a philosophical thing or just like a general like tonal thing. We are drawn to human perspectives. Like consuming art and creativity is kind of a way to connect with another human being, or multiple human beings who made that thing, and AI won't ever do that. I mean, look, in the realm of pop music, like Taylor Swift is like, like the biggest thing in the world, largely because many people connect with the very human perspective in her music that is clearly coming from one specific person. And so AI's not going to do that. Anyway, now I'm just rambling. But Austin, that is an interesting perspective, and I hope you're not right. Okay, Emma note, these are the 4 least popular comments on the video. Okay, we've got more people saying cope. Oh, this is an interesting one. This whole video is just cope. That's a cool, normal way to talk. And a waste of time. There's a reason you're still on YouTube and AI is taking over Hollywood, Patrick. I'm confused. Are you saying that I am making YouTube videos and not directing Hollywood movies because AI has taken all the movie directing jobs? I just don't understand that. Weird. Oh, someone says, the thing I'm best known for. Nah, dude. I'm picking up heavy vibes of self-importance and egotism by this guy. Nice video, though. The thing he's quoting is when I talk about the what if Wes Anderson directed X-Men video, and I say it's the thing I'm best known for. I mean, that's just, like, objectively true. Like, if I'm known for anything, I think it's that video. Like, if you Google me, like, that's the thing that's gonna have like the most links that will come up. In my personal experience, this is not objective, this is anecdotal, but in my personal experience, when meeting people over the past like 8 years, that is the thing that most people have been familiar with, if they're familiar with anything I've made. So look, I really don't think I'm being self-important. I think I'm just being honest that a video I made 8 years ago is the thing I'm best known for. But yeah, more comments from people that I don't think I'd ever want to hang out with in person. Moving on. Henrik Larson says, craft used to be the cornerstone in making things. Tools have now taken over. At some point, as they always have, craft and tool will balance each other perfectly, and we will see what AI is really worth, creatively speaking. Till then, it's just a madman's kitchen. I do love the wording of this comment. It's pretty great. Just a madman's kitchen. But yeah, as I mentioned before, AI and machine learning at their best can be tools that can benefit creative work, and people are trying to use them to replace creative work, and that sucks. But yeah, right now, it's just a madman's kitchen. I love that. I want to make a movie called Madman's Kitchen. Maxark says, thank you for making this. Another important thing to mention is that self-learning AI cannot and will never in its current form partake in any kind of discourse. This is because it does not use language like we do. We attach a value judgment to what it spits out. We save it or send a signal it did a good job, but never does AI do this itself. While it may sound like a minor thing, discourse is required for new trends to emerge and new styles to challenge existing styles. Without discourse, art simply cannot happen. Yesterday, I heard a guy say AI will have a market-expanding effect when it comes to filmmaking. And sure, while it may scathe off development time and maybe help us crank out more films in a shorter time frame, it cannot escape the fact we will get sick and tired of the same old stuff. We see it with superhero movies right now. Not even the most perfect reiteration of the genre will save a studio from us getting tired of it at some point. AI will simply accelerate that oversaturation. That new thing we inevitably want is something it can never provide because it does not use language to express itself and therefore can never partake in the discourse of what's next. That market expansion that guy talked about will ultimately look more like a boom-bust cycle with artists that cause a boom and AI grinding it down to a bust. That is a really good comment that I honestly don't really have anything to add to because I feel like you kind of said it all there. But basically, this is like, look, as we've established, AI cannot come up with new ideas. It can simply recycle things that already exist. And so if you want things to actually innovate and create exciting new developments that people actually get excited about, you need humans to do this. AI will then be able to copy that a bunch. But yeah, it's never going to innovate. It's never going to, as you said, participate in discourse or respond to other pieces of art that have been made. There is no human perspective there. And you'll have humans telling AI to do things. But look, if you want exciting new stuff that commercially speaking is the stuff that will really make you the most money, you're gonna need talented, smart humans to do it. Little Red Ruari? Patrick supporting the picket line like the true H. Willems he is. Yes, I mean, come on. If you're not supporting the SAG and WGA strikes, then what are you even doing here, watching this channel? What loser does not support them? What they're asking for is so reasonable. Just fair deals so they can get health insurance and support themselves. So yeah, if you're an executive watching this at any of the major studios, especially, I don't know, a place like Netflix, let's say, just give in to the demands. What's wrong with you? Come on, don't you want to make stuff again? Are you just gonna delay all your movies for the rest of the year because of this and stop making money because you don't want to pay 0.02% of the billions of dollars you're making every year? Stop being losers. Finn Delamadame, 1983, says, I think the whole AI problem is just a symptom of the bigger problem, which is that our society has a terrible relationship with art. Most people don't understand the value of it, and corporations treat it like a conveyor belt. Plenty of people don't even see being an artist as a real job. Until that problem gets addressed, there'll be some new problem around every corner that all feel like the current AI one. I mean, yeah, you are totally correct. It's the pretty rare, but still, the terrible takes on the writers and actors strike that you'll see are people who are just what's wrong with them? They need to be making the product that I want right now and make it as if this is a restaurant, and they need to make it to order right away. They should be grateful that they get to work with these properties. So yeah, to many people, art, even bad art, is really just a product that they want delivered on time and made to their specifications to do what they want. And yes, the more you get into this, it just gets more and more depressing. Moving on. Solal Trotter. Man, I am so bad at pronouncing all of these YouTube usernames. AI stopping us from having Patrick talk about Tom Cruise's hair for 30 minutes will forever be known as one of humanity's greatest disasters. I have discovered since releasing this video that a lot of people genuinely want to see that Tom Cruise hair video. And all I'm gonna say is, look, I don't know when this Patrick Replies video will come out, but keep your eyes peeled to Nebula. Noah Cross says, the great artist's steal is a misquote from T.S. Eliot, and the original one makes tons of sense in relation to AI. The quote is, "Immature poets imitate, mature poets steal. Bad poets deface what they take, and good poets make it into something better, or at least something different. The good poet welds his theft into a whole of feeling which is unique, utterly different from that which it was torn. The bad poet throws it into something which has no cohesion." So there you go. I actually did not know that that quote by T.S. Eliot was the origin of this whole, great artist steal thing. Cool, I have nothing to add. That's just really interesting. A YouTube comment has just broadened my mind and taught me a genuinely useful, interesting new thing, and I wasn't sure that was possible. So thank you, Noah. Okay, now we are jumping over to the questions and comments from the Ask Patrick channel in our Discord. As always, if you want to join our Discord server, it's available exclusively to members of the Patreon. So the Patreon, I also encourage everyone to join, especially because, look, when we hit our next goal, which is like 1,500 patrons, that will guarantee that I will hire someone to build a Muppet Patrick for the video coming later this year on Muppet Cinema that won the topic tournament back in January. So anyway, the Patreon is a fun place, the Discord is a fun place, the Ask Patrick channel is a fun place. Let's see what we've got. Marley here says, "Hello team, longtime listener, first time caller, as they say. I've been wondering when Patrick would weigh in on AI, and by golly, you did not disappoint. But I implore you not to throw out the bot baby with the bad artist bathwater. No doubt there's barely a whiff of creativity in most of what goes viral as AI art, and sadly that means a lot is being left out of the public conversation. For me, AI has been an incredible playground that has reshaped the way I work with my own creative mind. It's like externalizing part of the subconscious onto a less sophisticated structure, which can often drill down and reveal ideas or connections I didn't realize were in there. Not unlike how dreams sometimes synthesize ideas in a way that the waking mind might not have access to. I struggle with insomnia and don't dream very much, so this is particularly exciting for me. In my own work, I've mostly used DALL-E, which is rough around the edges compared to Midjourney, so it spits out some deeply uncanny valley stuff. I draw mostly on stock photography and use deliberately cryptic prompts, so the output can go to some truly bizarre places. Crafting a prompt feels like writing a riddle with no set answer, and that's the bit that the curious refuges of the world are completely missing. If you know the answer to the riddle, and that answer is just Wes Anderson, then why bother asking a machine to imagine that for you? I've been incorporating AI elements into a graphic novel/musical I'm working on, and it has been revealing visual storytelling paths I would never have discovered otherwise. In that sense, it's been invigorating to my art practice in a way few tools have ever matched. Anyway, I just realized that my first ever Ask Patrick isn't even really a question. This stuff just gets me jazzed, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this kind of approach. Thanks for your diligent work, PHW team. Nice to meet you. Okay, so this is interesting, and it's not something that I'm really an expert on, but I've seen little bits of like weird kind of like video experiments using deliberately like surreal and kind of disturbing like AI type things, very much in a way where it is a tool to get specific types of images. So look, I'm not an expert on this use of AI stuff, and I will say, to me, granted, I'm not like a visual artist, or I'm not like, making a graphic novel or anything. I understand the use that you're talking about, and I understand the appeal. I don't ever see myself using this in the same kind of way, but I'm like, look, if you are still, doing the bulk of the creative work yourself, and this is just a new way to kind of like help you kind of like synthesize or generate like visual ideas and that kind of thing, and you're not stealing anyone else's work, and you're not using this as like a cheat to just avoid like making choices yourself, then I think it seems fine. I don't know. This is like, it's an interesting angle on it that I haven't really thought that much about, but yeah. If it's working for you, I'm not going to say stop. So Marley, thank you for the question, which was really more of a comment. Anyway, next up, Jack Slack says, "Hi Patrick, I just watched your fast-ending video on AI art and Wes Anderson style. In it, you explored how AI can replicate Wes Anderson's unique visual aesthetic. I'm curious to know what inspired you to delve into this intersection between artificial intelligence and filmmaking, and what are your thoughts on the potential impact of AI-generated art on the future of filmmaking and storytelling?" Note, this question was generated by ChatGPT. Please do not seriously try to answer it. It is such vague bullshit. Whew, thank you. Because I was about to say, I have covered this so much already. I explained that in the video. Like, why, well, like, did you not watch it? Anyway, Jack Slack, there you go. Thank you for, you know, proving all of this. ChatGPT also bad at writing questions. Ro says, not a question here, just saying I would love to see your Tom Cruise hairstyles rating video. Shadow Earthshaker says, I second that. I need to know whether Patrick is more long hair or more short hair Cruise. Yeah, it would be really fun to find out what my Tom Cruise hair rankings are. Okay, Pinball Witch says, hey Pat and everyone else who worked on the video, loved the latest video, lots of great discussions here. So I'll summarize this because it's a long comment. It's mostly saying she's glad that I mentioned the fact that, you know, AI as a tool can be kind of a gray area, but that, for instance, you can use ChatGPT not just as a way to, like, generate writing, which is usually bad, but actually as a way to, like, organize information. You can use AI image tools to help, like, extend and create, like, backgrounds to use for animation. And so it's not all bad. It can be a useful tool. You know, it just, as I said in the video, it's the slippery slope. Oh, and then at the bottom, as for an actual question, whose idea was it to have Dave talk about Serenity in the closing? I wasn't expecting that, and I almost choked hearing it. So that was my idea. In the scene that we had written, originally when Dave's on the phone, he was having a totally different conversation. And Dave and I share a deep fascination with the 2019 movie Serenity, starring Matthew McConaughey as a man named Baker Dill trying to catch a fish named Justice. And the night before we shot it, I texted Dave and I was like, what if when you're on the phone, you were just explaining the plot of Serenity? And then we didn't script it, and I just said, go. Explain it. And so that was it. It was a fairly last minute change, and I think it made the video better because Serenity is a funny movie to talk about. And okay, oh wow, that's it for the questions. All right, and that does it for this episode. That's all the questions and comments. And look, even though this started out a little contentious with some comments that, I'm just gonna say it, were rude, I think it got a lot better and a lot nicer as it went on, and I'm feeling good. So thank you for sending in all the lovely comments and questions. It was really fun talking about this stuff. And anyway, you know, all the usual stuff. If you want to support the channel, check out the Patreon. We're going to be doing our monthly Patreon live stream soon, talking about the latest videos, what's coming up, stuff like that. Those are always fun. And up next, it's the big, highly anticipated content episode, which should be fun, and, you know, the response to it should be interesting. So I'm excited to see, you know, what you all have to say. So anyway, that is all for today. Good night.